Can you tell us more about how this wonderful thing we're going to try together came to exist?
Yeah. So I met Haley, who is hopefully in the Haley Coop in the chat, in the Twitch chat at the moment. We were playing Dungeons and Dragons together, along with Kiri, who also may be in the chat. Yep, Kiri's here, and we came around together around the idea of the fact that tabletop games, they pass on a lot of really awesome skills like collaboration, improvisation, teamwork, thinking outside the box, and that these are skills that a lot of people everywhere in everyday life can use. And how do we bring these skills to other people and empower gamers who already have these skills to bring them into their own networks and to their friends and colleagues and everything like that. So this is one of the games that we've got in that era. It is inspired by For the Queen by Alex Roberts with Eagle Hat Productions, and also inspired by a hack of that game, This Vineyard Will Be Our Salvation by Taylor Daigneault. Both very excellent games. And then, this is our own hack, and we've chopped and changed and landed here in Green Hollow.
I love that. That's so great. So this game has no GM and no dice, and you need to know 0 things before you start.
Correct.
Whoa.
Designed to be anyone who has never ever played a game, an RPG, a tabletop game, has never played any of that, can play this game.
So great. Well, I do have a bit of it on screen for folks. Apologies if it is small. But this is the interface that the players get to use. And let's get started. I will put on the pastoral music. The music that I'm going to play tonight is by Boy King of Idaho, who you can support on Patreon. Boy King of Idaho makes really wonderful music for tabletop role-playing games, and I'm an annual supporter of his on Patreon because I just love his composition so much. Go ahead.
Take it away, Meowster. Do you want to read out the card? And we've kind of already set up a turn order here. So Meowster, Muiramme, Logan, and then Rat, and we'll just take turns reading the cards. So take it away, Meowster. It's all yours.
Awesome. To learn how to play, we will take turns reading each card aloud. Click Next Card to continue. And that's at the top. Ooh, all right.
Oh, so
one person clicks.
One person clicks. Good to know. If we're using multiple computers, then any one of us may click Next Card, and the card will change for everybody. If we're not sitting at a table, then we'll need to agree on a turn order, which we have done. We could use the turn order tool below to keep track. Otherwise, we could go clockwise. On your turn, when you have finished reading a card, click Next Card so the next player knows that it's their turn to read. We have already paused and agreed to a turn order.
Heck yeah, we're ahead of the game.
I feel like we're already winning and we just started.
All right. Winning happening. Green Hollow is a storytelling game. It is designed to help us have a creative experience and spark insights about teamwork. The game will support us at each step of the way to tell a story about a fictional project together.
We will actively create the story as we go. We will do this by taking turns drawing cards with questions on them and responding to those questions.
In this storyteller game, we will each take on the role of a fictional character in a fictional world. We will be living in a time and a town that is different from our own. You will each play an imaginary character that is not you. Next.
You do not need to act or put on a funny character voice. You just need to try and think like your character thinks, and then explain how they respond to each new question.
All of our characters live together in the ancient village of Green Hollow. They have come together to bring to life a project that benefits the village. When we have finished answering questions, we will have told a complete story about our unique team. We will have created a tale about overcoming challenges and delivering an awesome project.
But before the storytelling begins, we need to set up a few things. 1. Making sure the game is fun and safe for all. 2. Agreeing what the focus of our project will be. And 3. Creating characters that are different from the players.
If the content of this game ever makes you uncomfortable, or you have a question, you can activate the X card. If the X card is activated, everyone pauses play. To activate the X card, just push the X card button below. Feel free to try it now. X card, let's take a pause. What do we need before we can continue? And then we discuss. Ooh.
I like it.
All right. Next card.
When we see the X card activated, we will pause, clarify any uncertainty, and continue once everyone is comfortable and ready. Any element of play can be X carded at any time.
It's time to make some choices about our project. As we make choices together, let's note them down somewhere we can all see, like a shared document or text chat. If we haven't got that handy, let's pause now to find a solution.
Is this something that
Kid.
chat should be able to see, or is this something that we can do in our Discord space?
I think our Discord space will be fine. We'll be talking about it a lot as we go as well, so
Okay.
chat can probably remember.
Awesome.
To begin with, let's learn more about our village and choose what project we want to do there.
Ooh. We are villagers in the ancient town of Green Hollow. It is a fictional town, but let's imagine that it exists somewhere on our very real Earth, somewhere between 2000 and 3000 before Common Era. In this town, people wear woven clothes, grow crops, keep animals, make pottery, and increasingly use metal tools.
In general, we work together as a community to make a good life. There are no rulers over us, there is no large city or civilizations nearby, but the neighboring village of Burdock is just down the road.
I love that city name.
Village meeting, villagers often put forward projects for the community to work on together for the good of all, such as building a community gallery for new art creations, developing a monthly market to foster trade with neighboring villages, or discovering a new source of metal to make new tools. Let's take time to discuss which of these projects we would like to work on, or come up with our own project idea. Once we've decided on our project, let's note it down and click Next Card. Oh,
Right.
what
So we're
project
gonna
should we
pick
do?
a project. I like it.
A village improvement, as it were.
Indeed. So we've got a community gallery, a monthly market, a new source of metal, or choose your own adventure.
Okay, well, is there anything that anyone in particular is interested in?
My rainbow self always wants to plan a pride parade, but
Ooh,
I don't know if they
Uh-huh.
had those in
I'm
3000 BCE, but I'd be really excited about that.
it's not Earth. We can make it. We can make it happen.
So,
I'm on
Are
board.
you gonna say something, Muiramme?
No, that sounds good.
A pride parade?
I'm down with it. I was going to say, my suggestion was probably pretty boring, but basically like a silo or storage, or, finding some way to keep food during the lean months in order to ensure that there are no lean months.
Also a good plan. I was going to ask initially, like, what does the town already have? Because if I had that, then I would come up with something that we would need. But both of these ideas are better than doing the research part.
I mean,
pride-
I've never
pride
played
is
this game
silly.
and done a pride parade before. So
Do you
I'm
want to
open
do the silly
exploring
thing?
new things.
Are we gonna break your
Why
game
not?
with our gayness?
We'll find out. That's the great thing.
I think we should try to break the game with our gayness.
All right, let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Green
So
Hollow Pride.
our project is, yeah, Green Hollow Pride. I'll write it down. Green Hollow Pride. Okay. We have now chosen. I have completely forgotten who's reading, so I will hit next.
I just read that one, so it's Rad's turn now.
Now it is time for each of us to create the character that we will inhabit during this game.
Each player chooses one of the characters below, but cannot choose the same character. For each character, choose one of its 3 adjectives. This is your character's strongest personality trait. Choose one of its 3 adjectives, excuse me. Once everyone has their completed character, note them down and click the next card. Okay. So we have some character options here.
We can go in turn order for picking characters.
Okay, but I also feel like I should go last because I just read.
I feel like we should read these out for podcast purposes.
That's great. Can
Ooh,
someone else read
that
it while
would
I
be
start?
your
While I
job.
type some notes for
Oh,
us?
okay.
Sure.
Cool.
I'll read.
Thanks.
So, no, go ahead.
We've got Birch the Elder, who is gruff, sentimental, and sleepy. Willow the Blacksmith, who is energetic, dreamy, and practical. Ash the Healer, who is magical, methodical, and grounded. Oak the Barley Farmer, who is blunt, friendly, and reserved. Pine the Goat Herder, who is anxious, laid back, and talkative. And Rowan the Visionary, who's outspoken, contemplative, and charismatic.
I appreciate that these are all tree names.
I also like that. And the nearby town is Burdock, which is another, like,
Plants.
green blood.
So, yeah, how would you like us to pick the order of characters?
Well, if one's jumping out to you that you'd really like to play, feel free to take it. I think I've played almost all of the characters at some point at this stage, so I'm happy to go last.
So, Rad, do you want to go first, and then I'll go, and then Muiramme will go?
Sure. I will choose Rowan the Visionary, and my dominant trait will be contemplative.
Nice.
Awesome.
And Rowan's pronouns?
They, them.
All right, so Meowster. I will be Pine the talkative goat herder. Also they, them pronouns.
And I will be Ash the Healer, with a methodical nature. And I believe they, them pronouns as well.
Whee. Methodical, you said?
Mm-hmm.
I will go Birch the Elder, who is sleepy and uses he, him pronouns.
Okay, so I just typed Birth the Elder instead of Birch on accident, and it was a funny mistake.
Heck yeah, we're
Someone
Benjamin
did,
Button.
King.
Oh.
I do in fact know a Birch who is an elder and is a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Are
Every
they also
person named
sleepy?
Birch I've met are wonderful people.
I wouldn't call them particularly sleepy, but definitely like sentimental and kind.
Yeah. That sounds true.
Yeah.
Okay, let me update our names on the screen.
Hooray!
That'll take me a minute. Does someone want to lead us through the next bit while I'm also doing that?
Yeah, Muiramme, do you want to go to give Meowster
Sure.
maximum time?
Great work! We are almost ready to start answering questions. But first, let's explain how things work when you take a turn. That thing where I gotta press the button.
When it is your turn to respond to a question, follow these steps. 1. Read the question aloud to the group. 2. Answer the question as your character.
When it is your turn, you have creative control over the story. You decide what your character does. You can also add new objects, ideas, characters, and events to the story as you see fit.
Do you need more time, Meowster?
Yep, sure do.
Other players may ask you follow-up questions or make suggestions on your turn, but whether you answer those questions or include those suggestions is up to you.
You can also pass on your turn. To do so, choose another player and say, I'd like to hear you answer this question. That player takes your turn, and the turn order remains the same after that.
We all choose when our project is done. When we feel like we're ready to finish, or when we only have 15 minutes left, we can click the last card button and choose Go to Last Card.
Each player will take a turn responding to the last card. Then, the game is over.
Well done! We've reached the final instruction card. After we click Next Card, the game begins. The next player in the turn order will answer the first question as their character. It is time to tap into our creativity as we take turns telling the story of our awesome project. Now entering Green Hollow. Oh.
So awesome. Alright, I've got 2.5 of our 4 names sorted out here.
Heck yeah.
Getting there.
I guess I am next in turn order, so I'll read the first card. You are asked to gather the crew to start the project. How do you invite them? Where do you meet? Let me think on this a moment. I want to make sure that everyone comes following my invitation. I want to make sure that it is a readily accessible place, or rather that the meeting place is accessible and known to everyone. So I think I will ask at the town center. I'll do a show of hands and see who is interested in joining. Assuming that the town center sort of acts as a forum or something of that sort.
It's kind of what I was envisioning as well, is in
I'll
open
join.
space.
Pine raises their hand. Bah! You hear next to them. As you see a little black sheep.
Does your goat have a name? Does your sheep have a name?
It's going to in a minute when I come up with it. I guess I'm a goat herder, but somehow I have a sheep. It's fine. It's a trans goat. It's fine. Oh, I'm trying to remember the name that we had for the rainbow goat so long ago.
I don't have a memory of that rainbow goat's name. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But it's a very long time ago.
All right, my sheep is named Baalooga.
Nice. I have clicked next card. I just kind of assumed that since I saw a show of hands, that we will be having Pine, Bert, and Ash joining us as the crew.
Ash might be a little bit more like, I suppose I could help. But will, like, tentatively put up their hand.
All right.
Thanks, Brad. Meowster, it's up to you. Next question.
You can already see a big problem emerging as the crew discusses what they want to do. What is it, and how do you share your insights with the group? So, we've gathered here today to plan a pride parade, but we have no confetti. There's no confetti.
No confetti.
There's no decorations. Especially confetti. What should we do?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to make our own decorations somehow.
What if we all subscribed to GenderMeowster and got their...
Wow, you're such a visionary. What do these words even mean?
I'm sure it'll make sense at some point in the future.
What sort of decoration should we gather for our Pride Parade?
I feel like grains, like if we can, throw grain confetti. If we have like any rotten grains, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
What about rice? We could make a tradition out of that.
I feel like I've seen some shiny, sparkly, multicolored rocks up in the hills. And they're kind of the kind that, you know how sometimes they're like little sheets and you can break them up with your fingers? Those would be really fun to throw around.
That, says Baalooga. Baalooga likes your idea, Ash.
Maybe some of you youngsters can go travel and get that stuff. I'll stay here in a chair maybe and go through rice grains.
Yes, I'm far too busy being a contemplative visionary.
Oh, you don't think that you'd want to come on a walk up into the hills with me? It's very peaceful out there.
What happens if we split the party?
All right.
Wonderful.
So, in that case, then Ash and Rowan and maybe Pine are going off into the hills.
Oh,
You were the last
if you're
one
happy
read.
with that. Yeah, Meowster just read, so if you're happy with that answer, Meowster, you can hit next and we'll keep going.
I mean, does Birch the Elder want to come along? Could we get you, like, a really cool wheelchair that can go off-roading so you can join us and not have to spend all your spoons hiking the mountain?
That does sound nice. Or maybe we've just walked slowly. Maybe we made it a 2-day trip and we stay overnight in the hills rather than trying to rush it and be there and back before dark.
That makes sense to me. Well, let's go pack our overnight bags so we can have a cute little camp out under the stars.
That sounds good. I can carry my own pack.
Now I'm more satisfied because we included everyone and didn't abandon someone because they were disabled.
Yeah.
Next.
We need to figure out the most auspicious time to begin. How do we do this? When do we choose? I feel like the most auspicious time is now, but when are we planning this celebration for? Is this like an immediate thing, or do we have lots of time to gather materials and food and, get the word out to our fellow people?
Is this the first Green Hollow Pride? Can we just choose whatever day we want? Or we want to line it up with like a full moon or a new moon
yes.
or something?
It should definitely be on a full moon.
Perhaps a full moon in June.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a couple weeks for that.
Got some time.
So we got some time. But I think we should start now, because then if we start now and it takes all this time to get there, then we can just spread out the work over a couple of weeks and we don't have to do it all at once. And that way we won't forget anything. That seems like a good plan.
I think my goats would enjoy
Nah.
stretching their legs towards the mountains anyways.
That would also give us time to refine a plan A, and if that falls through, have time to create a plan B.
Yes, I agree. Multiple plans. Very important.
So Shall we leave at dawn?
Dawn sounds great. I'll go to
Fine.
sleep. I'll go pack my bag and I'll start sleeping now so I can wake up at dawn.
That sounds great. So Pine will go corral the goats and get them all set up to go on a little adventure outing tomorrow, and we'll gather the couple of herding dogs that they have so we don't lose any goats on our adventure into the mountains.
I have already clicked the next button. I am satisfied by the answer of at dawn.
Nice.
Cool. All right. Inspiration strikes. You come up with a big, bold idea that you think will make this endeavor truly awesome. What is it? Okay, so Birch packs a bag, goes to sleep, wakes up at dawn, comes and sees the rest of the group and says, "Everyone, I have an amazing idea. While I slept, I was thinking of the mountains that we will traverse today, of the volcano many miles away that we are very safe from. But what if we got all of these shiny things that Ash was telling us about, and we somehow explode them out of something? Rowan, you could probably figure this out. Explode it out of a something and just shower the whole town with these shiny things, and then no matter where they are, they can participate. They can have the shinies. What do you think?
Are we going to be showering them with hard rocks?
Oh no, these little pieces of stone, they break apart and they're very light. They're pretty fun to play with.
So it'll be like a powder.
Yes, a little bit bigger than a powder. More like snowflakes. I assume
But colorful.
here. Yes, colorful snowflakes.
So what if we fashioned a tube and we put a bunch of flash powder at the bottom of the tube and then packed the rocks and other powder on top of the flash powder? And then just strike the tinder and...
I see where
Kaboom.
you're going with this. Just fling them all up in the air.
Yes.
We'll have to aim them. We want to get for maximum distribution. Will we need just the one, do you think, Rowan, or will we need multiple?
We'll get a bunch of tubes and aim them in all directions.
I have a thought. Could we also potentially pack some of the stone stuff in like a slingshot and fire that slingshot far in the sky? Because then we wouldn't need to use flash powder.
But
Yes,
flash
I don't know
powder
how
is
much
so
flash powder we
flashy.
have to get rid of.
It's true.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying no to the flash powder, but maybe there's a few other methods we could use too.
Maybe a small amount of flash powder tubes, and then maybe more slingshots. And perhaps some of the villagers could fire off the slingshot themselves. Not everyone is equipped to deal with the flash powder. I certainly am not. Perhaps
True.
if we could have a wider number of slingshots.
So Baalooga
slingshot.
at this point kind of butts their head into Pine's hand, and Pine thinks of a very rude solution, which involves goats eating things and then distributing them later once they're feeling gaseous.
Powered by goat farts, you say?
There's a lot of great ideas that everyone else has.
So, catapults.
No bad ideas. It's just we're
slingshot.
just mining it all.
I'm just a simple goat herd. I don't understand all this flash powder technology.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the problems with slingshots is that it takes a lot of strength to pull them back. And the larger they are, the more strength it takes. So what if we had a way...
We have a lot of small ones.
We could have a lot of small ones. But if we wanted to make a big splash, what if we had a way to pull back a slingshot with a lever?
Or perhaps all the goats could work together. We could line them up on a set of ropes and they could pull the slingshot back. Then they could still be involved.
True. Or if we want to make this a community project, we could do something that I heard of in the lore of the old books. Something called Dungeons and Dragons 3rd Edition, called a commoner railgun.
What?
There you are again with these strange words, Rowan. I don't understand them.
What a visionary.
I'm sure
Indeed,
it'll
this
make
is why
sense.
you will think.
Actually, this one probably won't make sense in the future.
Okay. I am happy there if we continue with we've got Tube's idea and Slingshot idea. Maybe it'll come together as we
Some
continue.
sort of goat
but
farts idea.
maybe goat farts as well. And sheep farts. We'll see how we go.
Let's see how it goes.
Oh,
Does this goad well?
Everyone has such great ideas. How are you helping them settle on a shared plan? How do you remember it? We are before the time of paper. And etching this into a tablet sounds like a lot of work.
I think it. You know how I remember things best is if I come up with a song. We should have a song about it.
The
yes,
song.
and we can sing it as we're trekking today.
Yes.
Yes, that sounds good. Maybe a song or an epic poem.
Hmm.
I don't often remember all the lines of an epic poem, but a nice little like walking song. I do appreciate the remembering power that comes with that.
Excellent idea.
All right.
What do you
How
think, Ron?
should the song go?
Which plan are we settled upon? Oh, we're settled upon slingshots and cannons, right?
Yes,
the
that's
goats
what
will
these
do what the
splash
goats
powder
will do.
True. Maybe if
We might have
feed
goat
the
distribution
goats-
additionally.
feed the goats colored ink, and it will make their offerings naturally colorful.
Mhm.
I guess dyes are known in this time.
I mean, certainly I've seen a goat eat enough purple berries that their poop is quite strongly colored.
Maybe
Yes,
we can
but we'll
find-
avoid corn.
Maybe we could find like different colors of berries to rub on the goats and sheep's wool. So like each goat can be a different color.
If
We can have a
Yes, we
flock
can dye them.
of
the color.
rainbows.
I love that idea.
Right. We'll keep
And
an
we
eye
can
out for
strap
berries.
the flash powder tubes to the goats.
Weaponized goats. That's incredible.
Weaponized pride goat.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's coming together now. I can see it.
I forget whose turn it is.
It's still my turn. We have to come up with a way to remember weaponized pride goats. I think that's
I mean, that's pretty good in and of
that's pretty
itself.
memorable enough.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna go with weaponized pride goats. That's Operation Weaponized Pride Goats. All right, that I'm satisfied with that.
I love it. Okay, now it's my turn. And I'm writing down Operation Weaponized Pride Goats in the notes because that's funny to me. All right. How are you working on the project? Are you working on the project in secret, or does everyone know about it? How are you talking about it to the rest of the village? Ooh, that's a great question. Do you think the other villagers would understand or have disagreements with us about the weaponized pride goods, everyone?
I feel like the other villagers would be very supportive of the celebratory atmosphere that we're going for, but I
Mhm.
also think it'd be kind of fun to keep it secret until just before we're ready, and then have everyone like pop out into a magical rainbow land.
Yes, I
Mhm.
think a surprise of this proportion, or I think a reveal of this proportion deserves to be a surprise.
Certainly, it will go down in Green Hollow history that way. Not talking about it to the rest of the villagers.
But how should we invite them when it's time?
Dancing.
Mm, yeah.
I think
We should
dancing.
have a
Flash mob.
flash mob invitation.
We'll do a flash mob invitation and send it to them
Mm-hmm.
in the form of a clock. That one, I'm sure, will make sense in the future.
And with that, Pine the goat herder does hands on the chest at Baalooga, and Ba stands up on hind hooves, and puts the little front hooves up on their chest, and they start dancing. We can flash mob with the goats.
Is it a waltz? Are
Ooh,
you
that's a
waltzing
good
with the
idea.
goat?
And they'll be colorful by this.
They will be, and the movement helps with the movement, if you know what I mean.
Each moving.
That was a fart joke.
Birch tries to do the chest thing, get a goat
Ah!
to dance with him.
That is an entirely different type of weaponization.
Tis. multiple redundancies for optimum pridefulness. I'm satisfied in our secretness that has a big reveal. All right.
Who most often gets the blame when things go wrong? How do you support the crew to take a different approach?
I feel like after coming up with both the idea of flash powder cannons shooting, minerals, and also affixing them to goats, we probably deserve most of the blame at this point.
Yeah, I feel like someone who wants to strap flash powder to goats is probably going to be like a little on the reckless side most of the time.
I prefer visionary, thank you very much.
Certainly. No offense intended.
I have a vision. It is chaotic and terrible most of the time, but it is still a vision.
So I think it's Muiramme's turn. Ash the healer.
Yes. So the question is, how do we support the crew to take a different approach? Well, I would just like to encourage everyone to take into account safety. As a healer, I'm going to be the one that has to deal with flash burns if anyone happens to get flash powder burns. So I just want you to all think about the fact that all of the creatures around us are living beings and none of them deserve pain. Just putting that in there to keep that in mind.
Ah. Baalooga agrees with you.
I don't know if that's a solution for that question, but
Yeah, if you're satisfied, then that's all we need.
yeah, satisfied enough.
Ooh, you felt betrayed by the actions of another crew once in a different project. How have you learned to trust the people you are working with now? So Birch is old, he's kind of been around for a while, probably has been on a number of village projects at this point, or is, wanting to help out. And I think maybe as he started getting older, he couldn't do sort of the same things that he used to be able to do. And maybe one time he was kept out of the loop of a project that he was working on because they thought, Birch can't do that anymore, we'll just like they kind of just pushed him to the side, and assumed that he can't do it, we won't bother, and he kind of felt betrayed by that. But now this team has really shown that they've put effort forth to make sure that Birch can be there and contribute what he can. So he feels very seen. So he feels he can trust this team now, and he really appreciates it.
Making space for people is good.
Yee.
After a recent disagreement, you think it would be easier to do it all yourself. What makes you turn back to the crew? Well, I am disgruntled at the idea that the flash powder might be unsafe to strap to the goats. I'm disappointed that I don't get to see this big boom, so to speak, this explosion of excitement and color and wonder and joy. I think it over. And maybe if we make it extra safe with, fixtures for the goats, maybe that don't strap it directly onto their wool, for example, but have saddles or something like that, then it'll be okay and safe for the goats, and we can steer the goats in the right direction. And besides which, I don't have any goats of my own, so it's not like I can do this without the crew anyway.
So do we need to make goat saddles now?
I think that we should.
Saddles?
Saddles for the goats, so that we can
To-do
put
list.
the flash powder tubes on them.
So are they saddles or are they
Good idea.
mounts?
What's the difference? I'm not a goat herder. I'm just a visionary.
Well, you see, the saddles are for people to ride on, and usually you need a very large goat for someone of our size to ride upon. Usually it's children that ride the goats in the shepherd contests that they have down the lane in the summertime, when the younger goats have grown strong and wily.
Are you telling me that we can put children on the goats and give the flash powder tubes to the children?
Weaponized probably told
Think
the
how much
goats.
fun the children will have.
Only if we give them
Now,
helmets.
my understanding of flash powder is a bit limited, but is it safe for children to handle? Perhaps we could give them slingshots instead.
That's a good point. We give some of the children slingshots and put them on the goats, and we mount the rest of the goats with flash powder cannons.
Could I make another suggestion that doesn't involve children?
Yes.
Could we potentially build harnesses, fairly simple harnesses that don't require a huge amount of work, and strap the flash powder tubes to those instead? And then the goats could just run around setting those off?
That sounds good too. We'll do that instead of the mounts.
It's okay. We can give the children slingshots and mica balls.
Yes, good. And we'll make sure that the harnesses have enough padding that the goats don't get burned by the flash powder.
Yes. This sounds much more reasonable. Thank you. Thank you for working with me on that.
Yes. Besides which, I don't have any goats myself, nor do I know how to make harnesses for them.
Well,
Indeed.
the best place to put a harness on a goat is actually their heads. Right between the horns.
True. What if we use the horns for a slingshot?
Oh, that's such a good idea.
So we could have children riding those goats, and then flash powder harnesses on the others.
Yep.
How many goats do you have, Pine?
One more than we need. Quantum
The best
amount of
number.
goats.
The absolutely appropriate number of goats.
It's Pride. On holidays, everything just works. It's just the way of the universe. All right. It looks like it's my turn. So, I like to imagine at this point, we either start making harnesses or we start our journey up the mountain. Or do you think we're doing harnesses or mountain now at this point, everyone?
I would assume that we're going up the mountain and doing our gathering of various berries, as well as the mineral component.
All right, let's see. Let me see if I can find some climbing up a mountain music. Nope. Maybe.
I feel like harnesses would require probably maybe things that we could also find on the mountain. I don't know how much vine and or plant fiber stuff we could find on the mountain, but
All right. Well, so let's start traveling up the mountain with the goats. And the next card here says, your performance comes under scrutiny from the crew. What is going wrong? Who gives the feedback you can listen to? How do you change? So we're going up this mountain, and Baalooga has a little friend, Bobby, like baby, but Bob. And Bobby.
Oh, I thought it was like Boston Barbie.
Oh, I like
It's
that.
a Bobby.
I like that too. I like that too. Bobby is one of the kids from this year. Kid meeting baby goat. And little Bobby is limping.
Dang it, Bobby!
And the other goats are giving me the face. Because one of the goats has good one. The goats are giving me the face because one of them got hurt on the walk up the volcano, because why are we taking goats up a volcano? So I'm facing some scrutiny from the goat crew. And so what's going wrong is that Bobby has a hurt leg. And I turn to Ash the healer and I say, "Oh healer, can you help me with this little one?"
Ash will very carefully take a look at why Bobby might be limping along, and investigates all of their hooves and takes a look at their limbs, and it turns out that there is just a really, really sharp stone that's been stuck in Bobby's hoof. Which, thankfully enough, is a pretty easy fix. So Ash will help out by removing the stone and then wrapping and washing out the cut and making sure that it won't bleed all over the place. Maybe pack it with a little bit of a poultice. Conveniently enough, the area that we're walking through is full of all sorts of interesting medicines, and Ash, being a healer, would know such things.
Nice. So while you're helping little Bobby get better, which thank you so much for your assistance, Ash. Birch and Rowan, I invite us to look around for the berries that could be used to dye the wool of some of these critters to make them look gayer. More rainbow,
Yeah.
as it were.
Blueberries, blackberries, raspberries.
Eggplant.
Some golden berries of some kind.
Yeah. Maybe some turmeric. I don't know where turmeric grows, but it definitely stains things.
Maybe some
Watermelon would be
clay
good
as
pink.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if we could find some yellow ochre, that would work really well.
Nice. And so how I change in the future is I make sure that all of the sheep and goats have proper horseshoes, or like little shoes for their hooves
Little
to
goat
climb the
shoes.
mountain, little goat shoes. So we need to delay our departure from town an extra day, so that we can get shoes on all the little babies. Babies. So we do that. And then the sheep and goats are happier.
Oh, a crewmate is congratulated for work that you did. How do you deal with this? Well, I suppose that if we're off gathering berries, I would fill a basket with berries and then give it to one of the goats to carry back to the rest of the crew. And perhaps Pine is like, oh, look, Bill has all of the berries for you, and the goat gets all of the credit for the berries I took.
Those credit-stealing goats.
Darn goats. I feel like Ash would just end up collecting even more berries, and show up with so many berries that
I have a
even
question.
their work can't be ignored. They work harder and faster and stronger.
What's your question, Birch?
I have two questions. One is, does Ash overwork themselves? Like, are they okay after trying to get all these berries to make up for the goat thing? And secondly, do they overpick? Do they overharvest any of the bushes?
They probably overwork themselves because they're usually very careful not to overpick the bushes. Which means that they have to range even further. In fact, they probably almost get a little lost wandering further and further away.
Push themselves a bit hard.
Yes. I have spent too many spoons trying to prove that I am in fact a helpful person.
And we're all like, wow, this goat picked all these berries all by themselves. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
wow.
thanks,
What an
Ash.
amazing goat.
Aw.
Oof. You are finding it impossible to work with someone else in the crew. How do you deal with it? Tough question. It's an intense question. Kind of want to blame a goat, but I feel like that's just scapegoating at this point.
Oh.
Because we keep just
Hey.
blaming the goat.
Nice.
Thank you. Rad, how would you feel if it was Rowan that Birch wasn't getting along with?
I haven't exactly made myself super easy to get along with my weaponized, child soldier goat plan, so go for
Okay,
it.
cool. So, thank you. Yeah, maybe as we're traveling up and down this volcano, Rowan's having all these ideas and speaking all these words, and Birch is not understanding all of it, maybe getting a bit grumpy because he feels he's not keeping up with the cool things that Rowan knows about. And at first, he's just sort of being grumpy and like trying to maybe throw off Rowan's ideas and be like, oh, we should just do something sensible, and being a bit of a stick in the mud, perhaps. But I think maybe that night, because they're going to stay one night on the mountain, he has a bit of a think and realizes what's up. And then he would go over to Rowan if they're still awake before we all bed down, and kind of walk over and sit down next to them and say, Rowan,
Yes.
how would you tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm working on a plan to pad the harnesses so that the goats won't get burned by the flash powder.
That seems very sensible. I just wanted to apologize for my abruptness earlier today and that time that I pretended I was sleeping while you were talking to me, but we were very clearly still walking. That was a bit rude.
You were
And
pretending.
also not very believable.
I just thought
And I do fall asleep often.
I just thought you were a very experienced sleepwalker.
Well, I am as well. Thank you, I guess, maybe. But no, I was pretending. I just feel like sometimes when you say a lot of those fancy words, I don't really understand them. And it makes me feel like maybe I don't actually have a lot to contribute to our Pride Parade. So I just wanted to say that and say sorry. And that I will stop
Thank
pretending
you.
to be asleep.
Thank you. If you weren't pretending to be asleep so much, you might understand what a TikTok is.
I suppose. Could you explain it to me one more time?
Sure, it's what people put their flash mobs in so that they become visible to everyone.
How do they fit?
Magic, mostly. It's something that might
And I
make more
imagine-
sense in the future.
You keep saying that. And I imagine they kind of talk into the night a little bit more before eventually going to sleep. I'm satisfied with that.
Love it.
My best friend Aspen does not believe in our endeavor. How does this affect your work? This one will be a short one, because I think on it, and Aspen has not believed in a lot of the things that I've done, and some of them have turned out to be doable. The issue with being a visionary is sometimes what you think and what you see may be unbelievable to most.
So what you're saying is Aspen can heck off with those naysaying attitudes?
What I'm saying is those naysaying attitudes are to me the most normal thing about the rest of the village. Sometimes my visions are chaotic and messy. Sometimes chaos and mess are necessary to create something great and unpredictable and new and wonderful and joyous. Or, as my teacher, Miss Frizzle, might have said, take chances, make mistakes, get messy. Come on, Arnold. A normal field trip with the Frizz?
No way.
No
Ain't
way!
I believe it is Pine's turn.
Oh, good. Nobody saw the work that you did. Why not? What do you do about it? Okay, so there's this whole part of the night where everyone else was asleep and one of the shepherding dogs woke me up to chase after one of the estranged sheep that has run off. And it takes like an hour to finally get to it. And it has found this mystical green plant that dyes things green even better than anything else. So it's like exactly the last die that we needed, but I lost a bunch of sleep over it, and no one else knows it even happened until maybe later whenever the green die comes up. Yeah. So that's why nobody saw the work that I did, is because I ran off in the middle of the night to go tend the beings.
Was there anything you wanted to do about it, or you're just okay with letting it go?
I mean, I'm glad that my trusty shepherding hound woke me up, and that I was able to rescue the sheep. Because, you know, if we haven't any wool, then we won't have 3 bags full of confetti to baba our way through the Pride Parade.
Indeed.
So, it may come up later, but I'm just glad that the resource has been acquired and that all the little critters are safe.
I'm sure we'll also see the work that you did when... Oh, I'm dissociating.
I
Okay,
love that.
I'm laughing because it's the camera. It's for the listeners later. Rowan the Contemplative Visionary's camera has gone.
Oh, yeah.
Ascended to a higher plane.
Yes.
I've done some esports commentary, and I usually call this entering the rhythm dimension.
Nice.
Yeah, what's it called? I'm sure that we'll all see your work when we see the greenest goat in all the parade as well.
Aww.
The goat.
We'll all be green with envy.
As green as that goat.
Hey!
There's also a pun in the chat where there's a wool, there's a way, and I just thought that was worth sharing. Alright, I think it's Muiramme's turn now.
How is it?
I think so.
One of your crewmates does something that delights me. What is it? Well, I would say that Birch the Elder does something that delights me, and that is Birch stops for naps on a semi-regular basis throughout the walk. And having pushed myself a little too hard, I find it very pleasant to sit on a rock and have a short little rest whenever Birch needs a rest. It's delightful to just nap my way along to where I need to be.
True.
Have a good nap.
Also, there's something about being a lizard on a rock, which is a very comfortable place to be.
So warm.
Cozy.
A family of badgers has been uprooted by the project. It weighs on you, making you question if you still want to be involved. What keeps you committed? Who do you turn to for support? So maybe as we're finding these shiny rocks. Rad, I can see your face lit up. Do you want to say something? Got an idea?
Can we incorporate the badgers?
Only if
Oh
there's
my God.
mushrooms,
Into
and
the
snakes.
Pride Parade?
We could invite the badgers into the Pride Parade.
Okay,
We
alright.
We can make them operate the slingshots.
You want to train badgers to operate slingshots attached to goats?
In 2 weeks, yes.
Okay, so what happens is we come across these badgers. I don't actually know where badgers live, so please no one fact check me. But we're on this hill and we come across a home where badgers live.
A den.
That's actually a den, thank you. A den of badgers, which is perhaps we don't notice it at first, but it's close to where all these shiny rock things are that we're gathering. And perhaps in our gathering, we kind of scare the badgers, and they, we leave human scent near their home, and scare them away from their home, and they decide they have to live elsewhere. And yeah, it weighs on me, and I'm worried that, because we're getting berries, we're getting vines, we're getting these rocks. If we're perhaps in our excitement becoming too exuberant and not caring for the land around Green Hollow enough, and I'm wondering, should I back out and make sure that the land is going to be okay after our big wonderful celebration? But yeah, I can see that Rowan wants to incorporate the badgers and maybe house them afterwards. And I know Pine has a lot of care for animals, so I'd probably turn to Pine for support and ask, Pine, you probably noticed that family of badgers scampering away just before we broke for lunch. And well, you know a lot about animals. Are badgers the resilient type? I feel bad about having scared them away.
Well, they're carnivores, so the easiest way to tame any sort of beast is feeding it.
We probably don't need to tame them, but that's good to know. We can feed them at least and make up for perhaps a lost dinner if they have to, hunt in areas they're not familiar with now.
Did I hear a rumor of trading badgers to use slingshots?
I feel like I did hear Rowan say that. Yes.
Well, Rowan, if you want to
What do you
train the
think about
badgers, you have to feed them things. They're omnivores.
I will feed them a grain, like a fistful of grain, every time they successfully operate the slingshot.
I've also heard that badgers, if you ever offer them rotten fruit, they might become a little bit drunk. So maybe we could offer them some fruit in celebration. And
Did they enjoy being drunk?
well, I've definitely seen them seek it out before.
See. Well,
This
not
just
too
keeps
many.
getting better.
We don't want them drunk while they're piloting the slingshots.
You don't.
No. Don't want them to misfire and hit someone.
Suppose you're right. They can be drunk after.
Yeah, they can join in the celebrations.
Yes, we wouldn't want to leave our badger friends out of it at this point.
Everyone's invited. I'm satisfied with that.
I suppose
Up
that
to you,
means
Rad.
it's... Yeah, Rad.
Okay, the villagers of Burdock offer to support your endeavor. What do you say that makes you question? What do they say that makes you question if you want to work with them?
I see an
Pausing
X.
right here. Can we avoid actual, because this is becoming a thing already, it's that time of year, can we avoid any actual real world pride discourse?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just it's just so tiring. All right.
Actually, before we move on, can you clarify for me just a couple things? Like, as far as I'm concerned, we're going towards having a party and a celebration.
Yes.
As long as I'm heading towards that, that's okay.
Yes. I just mean may I speak freely on current topics that are being discussed?
I'm okay with it.
Sure.
So things,
Yeah, clarity.
yeah, things like discussing kink at Pride or cops at Pride and stuff like that.
Yep.
I have opinions, but this isn't the place.
That is very fair.
Thanks for surfacing those. So we will avoid those topics. Thank you.
I'm imagining we will probably keep it wholesome, and we're imagining a world where everyone is healthy.
Good. Yes.
Does that work for folks?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
Sweet.
The villagers of Burdock offer to support your endeavor. What do they say that makes you question if you want to work with them? I imagine that they want to use pigs instead of goats. They want to bring their pigs. And I am hesitant to have pigs roaming at Pride because they do not color quite so easily with our berries. Because they don't have wool. And how can we have a colorful Pride if we have pigs that are all the same color?
What
But-
if the pigs were just the pink, and then we don't have to paint the sheep pink? Paint the sheep pink, yeah, we can paint them other colors.
I like
What
that.
if-
Great idea.
What if-
Especially because we were planning on using watermelon for the pigs, for the sheep, but watermelon isn't regional.
What if
doesn't
the
die very
pigs
strongly.
that they have are all the brown and white and interestingly speckled colors? Those are also kind of tricky to dye.
True.
Maybe
those-
we could make
ahead.
them little pig outfits of dyed cloth of some kind.
We could also do that.
We could knit them jumpers. Little pig
Oh.
jumpers.
We could also let them be their natural color because it's okay to be who you are at Pride.
That's true.
Hmm.
But
You can. It's
we
okay to be
reserve-
whoever you are.
Yes. Sweet. But we color the goats still because we still want rainbow goats.
Rainbow goats.
Yeah, rainbow goats is just very fun.
Rainbow goats. All right. Next.
Next, I'm going to invite us to take our break because we are halfway through the stream. Welcome back, everybody.
Thank you.
Yay. All right, so I think it was my turn. All right, so here we are. I'm so pleased. I'm just grinning ear to ear over here. This is so much fun. I have the best job. This is so cool. All right, so it says you have a big argument with one of your crewmates. Who is it and what do you argue about? I Meowster the person am too happy to think of an answer. Am I allowed to pass?
Fine.
I
Yeah.
would also say that if you wanted to have a big argument with, say, Ash about one of the goats not healing quick enough, that might be a thing that we could do.
That could be a thing.
I'm willing to have a friendly argument with you, Meowster.
Yeah, that
Usually I'm a yes and person, but I think I do want to pass this time. It's also one of the things you can do in the game.
That is
Hey,
very fair.
Mhm.
Haley in the chat is letting me know, yes, you can pass. So I think I will smile and say pass. Because this prompt has got my goat, as AJ said.
An omen of great misfortune is seen, and the village is in an uproar. They demand that you change direction. How do we respond? Well, this seems like the sort of thing that would happen after we'd been on our collecting adventure and returned to the village with a large sack full of mica shards and whatever interesting dyes that we've collected. I feel like someone has seen something that suggests that staying camouflaged rather than standing out is an important thing. Maybe there is a predator that's been seen stalking around town, and the townspeople want us to keep hidden rather than become brightly dyed colors. I don't know if anyone has any other thoughts.
That's a good. I'm into
Yeah,
it.
that's
How do you respond?
I think we respond by somehow inviting the predator to join us. Inclusion!
Yeah, I'm here for it. What's the predator? Like a lion?
I mean, the question here is, what kind of terrain are we in? Because that's why I haven't specified the predator.
Are we on a volcano?
I mean, we're sort of near a volcano. I think you've moved us closer to the volcano with each mention of the volcano.
That's fine.
I appreciate it. How about...
Is it a lion unicorn with a
How
rainbow
about-
mane?
I was actually thinking it's a Gigasaurus, but
What's a Gigasaurus?
What is that?
a giant predator dinosaur?
Oh, that sounds big and spoopy.
Big and spoopy. Invite the big and spoopy dinosaur to Brett. I think lion unicorn makes more sense, though.
Does
If it's a
anything
lion
make
unicorn,
sense?
I mean, if it's a lion unicorn, we can probably reason with it. I don't know that you can reason with a Gigasaurus.
Has anyone tried?
Probably not.
So
I
it could be
wonder if
done.
lions are into flash powder.
That's true. I mean, I suppose that's the other option, is instead of trying to reason with and invite the predator into the Pride Parade, we could in fact spook it away with flash powder. That could be part of the reason why we're using flash powder.
So rather than camouflaging to get the predator to lose interest and go away, we get even louder and more
Yes.
colorful to scare it away.
We bring out the drums. It's drum time.
Heck yeah. Let's get some music in this party.
Yay.
Yes, that's what we. How did we already forget that at Pride? We need music. Okay, this is what brings music to Pride.
All my
Pride-
Afro drums are downstairs, but I'm here for it.
So the answer is, there is a large predator that is spotted near town. We will appropriately dye the animals the day before, and then use appropriate levels of loudness to spook away any predators that might be brought in. That seems like
Nailed
a
it.
good direction.
Nice.
To ensure the project's success, you give up the opportunity to learn from a master of your craft. How does it impact your commitment? I think that Birch, since finding that he's not as active as he used to be, has taken up crocheting, and he's crocheting. Some of the pigs want little pig jumpers, some of them don't, so he's crocheting some of those. And as preparation is going and happening, a traveler comes through Green Hollow, has been traveling through from Burdock to Green Hollow, and is going to continue on, and stays a while in Green Hollow to help out, just to see what Green Hollow, and they spend some time with Birch, just chatting and helping out with the pig jumpers, and make some really cool ones, and teaches Birch maybe some new tricks. I know nothing about crocheting, but yeah, Birch is just really impressed with their skills, and this master is going to continue on. They kind of travel and learn new techniques as they go. That's kind of how they roll, and they invite Birch to travel with them and continue to learn these new techniques. But Birch has kind of become attached to the idea of of pride, and he's making these piggy jumpers for the pigs that are going to be here in Green Hollow. And so they put in all this effort. Like, they climbed up a volcano, they got all these berries, they got the shiny rocks. Goats have been super involved. The badgers might be involved. They scared off a lion. Yeah, so they've put all this work in, and so he just really wants to stay here. And he's just going to use maybe the one new thing that he learned from this master and just be pleased with that and not have to learn a bunch of new things all the time and just take that forward. So I think he's probably a bit sad for a while, but then he just jumps in using this new technique to make just the best piggy blankets. So yeah, his commitment just kind of doubles down to make really cute piggy blankets. Maybe badger hats for the badgers.
Oh my god,
and
yes.
Maybe, I don't know if the goats want horn protectors. Maybe. Or little leg warmers for their legs. He just wants to make things for everyone now. Yeah, and little beanies for Pine the Goat Herder. And we could have team beanies.
Team
have team
beanies.
beanies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, perhaps Birch goes a little too hard on the crocheting now. And just constantly crocheting. Crochet, nap, crochet, nap, crochet, nap. Yeah, so he just really goes for it.
Sounds like a good life.
I'm just adding to my costume over here. All
Amazing.
the crocheted things. All the rainbow crocheted things.
Very nice.
Ooh, a parade of trees and rainbow crocheted jumpers. That sounds fun.
Sounds like a guerrilla knitting project to me.
Yes.
Yes.
Birch
Oh
is
my
all over it.
gosh. Rowan's got a great one, but I'm looking forward to see if Muiramme has anything to weigh in about.
Cypress the Potter, a direct supporter of the project, comes under fire for questionable behavior. How do you bring this to the crew's awareness? What do you do about it?
Did you know you put a pun in that, Logan?
No.
The Potter comes under
Oh,
fire.
trees coming out of fire. I did not know that. That's great. Wow.
Yay!
Team. Yeah, no, I blame Curie as well for that one.
Indeed you are.
I predict this will happen at least 3 times because the rules of reincorporation in comedy.
Yes. All funny things and deaths happen in 3s. I imagine that Cypress would come under fire for spending too much of his time making flash powder tubes and not enough doing his actual work.
Sounds accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because the flash powder tubes would be things that you wouldn't even necessarily have to do anything with, but you'd have to put them in the kiln and take up valuable kiln space, and
Definitely.
it's a bunch of resources.
Do you think they would have glaze on the outside?
No.
I
You
love how
wouldn't glaze something
definitively
like
you
this.
said that.
No.
So you would leave it porous? You would at least make it bisqueware.
Yeah, you gotta make them sturdy enough, but why would you make them anything else? You gotta save some resources, but also, you still gotta cook them and stuff. It takes a bunch.
So the inside of the glitter cannons is going to be glittery eventually because all of those pores are going to soak up the glitter.
Probably not, because there's gonna be flash powder in them.
Oh.
It's gonna be
And
all
I'm back.
black on the inside. Hey!
Hi, Beck. I'm Dad.
Hi, Dad. I let you know that Cypress has been spending too much time, or kiln time, making these flash powder tubes for us. And I asked the group what we should do.
We should see what work is being put off to the side, and if maybe there's a way that we could help Cypress complete more of their work, more of his work. Like maybe there's some things that he can offload so that he can get more of the work done for both of us, both our project and whatever else he needs to do.
And perhaps if there are people who are needing pots to ferry water, perhaps some of us could ferry their water and they don't actually need the pot. Often people
Yeah.
need the outcome rather than just the tool. So
Yeah.
use it once. And...
We could take some of whatever the load is off of Cypress the Potter.
Sounds good. Good
Yep.
chance for me to learn more about these tubes and how they work.
All right, that sounds good. We talk to Cypress and we see what work that we can take on in order to make more space for flash powder tubes.
So
Cool.
I have a question for Logan about how the game was made because I'm a nerd.
Mm-hmm.
How many of these cards are there, and do they appear in the same order every time, or is it completely randomized?
I'm just wondering that myself.
So there are I think there were about 40 questions, and they are randomized. But the first 6 questions, the kind of starter questions, like how do you gather everyone together, how do you choose when to start, those 6 are always those 6 always go first, but in a random order. And then the rest are 40 questions that are 40 thereabouts that are just in any random order.
This reminds me of books I would read as a kid, where you would pick an outcome and flip to a page and
The
read
Choose Your
more.
Own Adventure books.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love those books.
Yeah. I read a lot of Goosebumps like that.
I love it. It makes me so happy.
Goosebumps is scary.
All right. Is it my turn?
I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my goodness. I'm called on to lead. How? How do you perform? Have we gathered all of our resources, friends?
I feel like we
Sounds
probably
like it.
have.
Well, in that case, I will be right back.
Physically right back. Ooh,
Suspense.
called upon to lead.
And dissociating through.
Yes.
So it's true, it does happen in
It's
threes.
the third time. Yeah.
And you see Pine return with a herd of multicolored goats and the most magnificent piece of fabric you've ever seen.
Ooh, it's so many colors.
Yeah.
Wow, Pine.
I got
job,
this.
Pine.
I got this
Yeah.
to wear as a cape while I'm dancing with the Baalooga. And
Oh, that's a great cake.
when Baalooga appears, Baalooga looks a little different also. Zoom back in.
My
so you can
gosh,
see
yes.
Baalooga. Baalooga is the most rainbow little friend you ever saw. Like, the rest of the goats and sheep have like one color each, but Baalooga has all the colors. And so
Yes.
And so Pine leads by dancing in, wearing the pride flag as a cape, and with Baalooga's little newly shoed hooves on their chest, doing a bit of a waltz. And it's the cutest ever.
The cutest goat waltz we've
Oh,
ever.
nice.
Yes. Now I will actually wear this flag as a cape for the rest of stream. Unless it chokes me, then I'll stop.
Yes, that would not be excellent. So we start with a goat parade dance.
Yeah.
Birch is there, dancing with some of the goats. Birch wants to start a conga line of goats and any other humans who want to join.
Ash would like to help play some of the music as we're getting started.
Just the badgers.
Ooh. Yeah, what's Rowan doing?
Oh, I definitely unleash the badgers.
Unleash the badgers. The badgers. The badgers are coming.
The badgers
Also
are coming.
got
The badgers are
frickin' goats with frickin' flash powder tubes attached to their frickin' backs.
Kapew! Is this how we're calling the villagers out into the center of town, by basically having rainbows and flash powder tubes and music and dancing?
Dance mob.
Exactly.
That's right. We're just doing it. Okay.
It's happening.
Does
I
anyone
also want to
have
say
a trumpet?
that I do not have a trumpet.
Or maracas? I see Birch doing maraca motions.
Yeah, this is my Baraka motion. You just have to imagine the sound there. And is in a conga line with goats.
They've got their little hooves on your shoulder.
Oh my god, it's the cutest little rainbow of goats following Birch around.
Do you think they appear in
Birch is
rotative order?
wearing like crochet. Oh, nice. Birch is wearing crocheted.
Someone wrangled
Just
those
lots
goats.
of things.
I love the crocheted things.
Like a hat. Big jumper that has like tails.
How else are we starting the party, everyone?
I mean,
I want to unleash the badgers. What does that mean?
It means that I put the badgers on the goats and give them pellets full of the sparkly powder to slingshot out into the crowd.
glorious. There will be a rain of glitter.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a full-time job. It's like herding cats, except more feral.
Herding badgers. Are you satisfied with
Weaponized
your
badger.
answer there, Meowster?
I am now. Thank you.
Okay.
I had to finish constructing my outfit.
Everyone
It's-
thinks the venture is going great, but I have a misgiving. What is it, and why don't the others see it? I have a misgiving that we didn't invite enough folks, that we didn't invite the Burdock folks soon enough. And the others don't see it because everyone else is dancing and having a great time. But I'm worried that the Burdock folks are going to miss participating because we just started this up spontaneously in the middle of town and didn't invite them over. That's my misgiving. I want to include
Fair
all the
enough.
people.
Well, I did let them know when the brain farting, sorry. I did let them know when they offered their pigs that they could come.
That's true, but did we tell them when it was and make sure that it was gonna be part of the spontaneous action?
I will send them a TikTok.
Fantastic.
Okay.
I don't know what that is, but I'll take it.
Who do you look to for direction? So we're dancing, we're having a great time. The badgers are starting to shoot off little confetti pellets from the backs of the goats. that are in the conga
For-
line that Birch. Same goods. Wow. Okay. So a lot is happening. And I think we're trying to bring the villages all together. So I think Birch is looking to Rowan for direction. Like, is there going to be a big finale that we're all going to, to gather everyone together? So, Rowan has all the big ideas, and maybe Birch doesn't understand them all the time, but dream big, and that's what got us here. So Birch is going to look to Rowan for direction.
To me, I say we end this where we started it, and we go to the town square, and we rally everyone at the forum, and we make a big parade out of it.
Ooh, we could parade to Burdock, and that way we can bring the dancing and the fun to them.
True.
Ooh.
So when it comes down to it, who really calls the shots? I guess the answer is, in fact, Al. Because, I had an idea, I had a vision, but the people who executed the vision around me, Birch and Aft and Pine and all the others, were the ones who actually, put in the elbow grease and made sure that the badgers were safely harnessed or the goats were safely harnessed and the badgers were safely saddled and no children were harmed in the making of this production.
No ghosts were harmed in the making of this production. All
That
the
too.
important things.
And
Yes. No goats, no badgers, no one was.
yes, and a vision without execution is not all that much after all. So I would say that it is more than just me who calls the shots, even if I'm the one that gets looked to at times.
Meowster, but I want to say, like, this feels like we've just about done it. Like, did we make it to Burdock? Do we end our parade in Burdock?
I mean, we certainly could.
I like the idea of us progressing from Green Hollow to Burdock, and having that be the marching part of the parade. Hopefully, they're not
Yes.
too far apart, and all the disabled elderly and parents of small children that they're carrying can all get there just fine.
And we
like
have
to
some like
imagine
goat
it's
sleds.
just over the hill, but perhaps there could be some goat floats.
Goat floats.
I heard goat sleds, but I'm going to upgrade it to goat floats.
That is
So-
an excellent upgrade.
So this, I'd like to consider we do this card and then we do the last card. Does that work for folks?
Sure.
Let's
Okay.
do it.
Works for me.
So this card says, your sister has a baby and needs your support right before a critical moment in your endeavor. Where do you place your energy? And so I like to imagine that maybe sweet little rainbow Baalooga is leading the whole parade in the front with me. And I just happen to have a single saddle that's actually a saddle and not only a harness. And I put that saddle on Baalooga, the one all the way rainbow goat, instead of singular colored goat. And my sibling's child gets to ride on the back of Baalooga, marching on our way to Burdock. And so when you get there, there is the tiniest kid waving the tiniest flag on the most gayest goat you've ever seen. And that's how we get there. Is the young are leading the charge.
That's adorable.
That's amazing. That's great.
So I'm gonna pull the last card.
Let's do it.
Okay.
How
Yay.
has this project changed Green Hollow? How has this project changed me? All of you. Well, I'd like to imagine that Green Hollow might in fact engage in a tradition of celebrating and being colorful and having a good old marching music time to Burdock on a regular annual basis. A celebration of all the things under the rainbow. and all of the animals and all of the people.
Totally. Imagine now that our crew has explored out like around Green Hollow, perhaps more up the volcano than we usually go. We're more aware of our surroundings now and can better tend to any of the creatures that live out there, and maybe we can, we found some new berries and these rocks, and maybe we can trade with Burdock and share these things as well. Maybe we can get a Burdock pride going.
Ooh. Sibling pride parades. Love that.
I'd like to think. I'm sorry, is it me next?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I was going in turn order. If you were done, Birch. Okay.
Yep, you can go.
How has this project changed Green Hollow? Well, in addition to what Ash and Birch have said, I think that this tradition will strengthen our bonds with our neighboring towns, including I forgot the name already.
Burdock.
Burdock. That's the we'll strengthen our relations with Burdock and will become a tradition that allows us to share and enrich our history together. How has it changed me? Well, I'm a visionary who finally saw my vision through to completion and got to see something new and exciting. So yeah, that's how it changed me.
All fired up for the next project.
Yes.
I think Pine has made peace with a multitude of identities that they have. And they look forward to raising their sibling's child as non-binary as possible. Like co-parenting the kiddo. And maybe the kiddo also has like a plant name like Sequoia or something. So then it's non-gendered name.
I mean, all of the people in this village have so far had very lovely plant names. So
Yay. I love it.
seems to track very well. I think I didn't answer the part about how the project has changed me. I think Ash has learned that there's a good place for a little bit more color and vibrancy and excitement in their lives, in among their methodicalness.
And Birch, how's this project changed him? Yeah, he learnt some more crocheting skill, and he was felt he was really part of this project, and so I think it's made him more comfortable where he is in his life. Like, maybe he was feeling a bit left out from that previous team that kind of pushed him to the side, but yeah, I think he's happier with where he is and knowing that he can contribute. Everyone?
I think so.
Yeah, so did you say how it changed everything? Yeah.
I think I said something of being more comfortable with identity and wanting to pass that comfort along to the youngins, the next generation. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's the game.
That's the game. We did it. Hooray.
Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, thank you so much for playing Green Hollow, running the first Green Hollow Pride Parade. That was amazing. And yeah, with that, I would like to announce that if you want to play this game, if anyone watching would like to play Green Hollow, make their own Pride or whatever project you want to, Green Hollow is now open in open beta and free to play on the Amble Studio website, which is just amble.studio. and you can find it there on our page. Yeah, free to play, and as you've seen, you can play remotely. Everyone watches the same screen and plays together. So yeah, thank you very much for playing. Yeah, if you have any questions, you can find us on Twitter at the Amble Studio, all one word. And also, you can contact us via our website as well. Yeah, if you ever play Green Hollow, we'd love to hear about it. And yeah, thank you again, Meowster, Muiramme, and Rad for playing Green Hollow with me today. It's been really
Such a
fun.
great time. So
That
fun.
was very lovely.
Thank you for having me.
I have another follow-up question. I wonder how
Mhm.
well this renders on mobile. So like, for example, I live with chronic pain and I have pain days. And if I can like lay down and be in a voice chat without my like face on a camera and I can like play along while I'm resting, that would be like a really accessible way. I love that there's no dice because that means I don't have to like have dice to roll or be typing somewhere to do that. And I imagine like someone could read for me on my turn if I needed to even.
Yeah, because everyone can see the same screen. I believe it works on mobile fairly well, but yeah, some of the cards in this game are a bit long, so you'd have to scroll through. But yeah, yeah, you could play on mobile and just be in bed. Totally.
I'm also appreciating
Even
that
cozier.
the debrief activity has sheep looking at us.
I love
Yes,
it so
yeah.
much.
So the as you've seen, the way that this game is designed is to be very easy for anyone who's never played a tabletop game to play before. And the idea there is that someone who's never played could play. So you could take this, for example, into your workplace, or any other places where you're often working with other people in a team, and play this game with them and see what teamwork feels like together. And then, there's this debrief activity that we've set up that can kind of help you come to some realizations and some insights about how you work together as a team and how you work well, how you'd like to change and improve. So yeah, feel free to take it into your workplace. Even though a lot of us are working remotely right now, still totally works.
I love it. So if we love this and want to support independent indie game makers, how can we give you our money?
So we're setting up a Ko-Fi at the moment. So we'll have links to that on our page and on our Twitter. We also have a LinkedIn. So you can follow us in all sorts of places. And when the Ko-Fi goes live, I'll be sure to shout that around. Thanks, Meowster.
Awesome. Yay. Yes, and if for some reason this is uploaded to YouTube and that's not yet in the show notes, just let me know if you notice, and I'll update the show notes to include the new Ko-Fi link.
Cool,
I
thanks.
want to make sure peeps can throw their money at you.
It's important.
Well, thank
For the
you
rest
so
of the
much.
group who are not Logan, make sure you do the post-game survey as well.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, there is a post-game survey. We'd love to hear your feedback and what you thought.
I wanted to see if anyone else had any projects they're working on that they wanted to shout out. I know this has mostly been a showcase of this fabulous new game that everyone can try now in beta, but I don't know if Rad or Muiramme has anything else they'd like to add about any projects or streams or anything you've got coming up.
Do you want to go first, Muiramme?
I mean, I can go first. It's very easy. Like I said earlier in the day, I do a lot of hanging out with Meowster. I do a lot of support work for Meowster. Most of the projects that I have going on are related to what they're up to. So if you want to find me, follow Meowster.
Okay.
Okay. I am returning to streaming this week, probably this weekend. Where I'm going to be. I've been doing a week-long showcase tournament for So this game called Spin Rhythm XD it's this indie rhythm game, and I put a lot of time into it, into managing, organizing esports events, commentating. I moderate the official server and everything like that. It's like my main rhythm game, and I'm a rhythm game person. And I have created a week-long showcase of new charts from songs from Supergiant games, including songs from all 4 of the games. And that showcase is going to culminate with a 4-player tournament from the top 4 scorers of this week's releases on Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific on my channel. And it's going to be a gauntlet-style tournament where the top 4 face off for chance to win the Supergiant Games catalog as a grand prize.
Wow. Could you know some of those titles off the top of your head? I'm sure people will recognize them when they hear them.
I'm sure everyone here recognizes Hades. That's been explosively popular over the last 6 months. It's been, for much of that last 6 months, the only thing that I would see on my feed for a while, at least at certain times of the day. Many of you might also recognize Bastion, which was their first game that released about 10 years ago. The other games, which are a little lesser known but are no less fun, are Transistor and Pyre.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, I suppose that just leaves me then. So, everyone, thank you so much for being here.